My name is Daniel Carter. I am 38 years old. On the night of my anniversary, just seconds before I was about to propose to my wife again, a police officer walked into the restaurant, looked straight at me, and said, "Sir, you are under arrest for a crime committed 12 years ago." My wife dropped her glass. Everyone turned to stare. And in that moment, my perfect life shattered. But what no one knew was this. That night wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of a truth so dark, so deeply buried, that even I wasn't ready to face it. The restaurant was glowing with warm golden lights, soft piano music wrapping around every table like a quiet hug. People were laughing, celebrating their own little moments, unaware that in just a few seconds, everything around them would freeze. Emily sat across from me, her smile soft, her eyes filled with a love I had trusted for 10 long years. 10 years of building a life, of sharing dreams, of believing that no matter what happened, we were unbreakable. My fingers rested on the velvet ring box in my pocket. This wasn't just another anniversary surprise. I wanted to relive our beginning, to promise her again that I would choose her in every lifetime. But somewhere deep inside me, there was a strange uneasiness, like a storm waiting far away on the horizon. "You're thinking too much again," Emily said gently, noticing my silence. I smiled, trying to hide the heaviness inside me. "Just thinking about how lucky I am," I replied. She laughed softly, but there was something in her eyes, something I had ignored for years, a flicker of distance, a shadow I never questioned. And then the moment broke. The sound of heavy footsteps, a voice cutting through the calm, my name being called like a verdict. When the officer said I was under arrest for murder, the world didn't just stop. It collapsed. I still remember the exact sound of the glass slipping from Emily's hand, shattering on the floor. That sound echoed in my mind, louder than anything else. Because in that moment, it wasn't just glass that broke. It was trust. But even then, I didn't panic, because a part of me had always known this day would come. 12 years ago, Michael Reeves didn't just die. He disappeared from my life like a shadow at sunset. We were business partners, yes, but more than that, we were brothers in ambition. We built everything together from nothing. Late nights, endless plans, risks that could have destroyed us. But success changes people, and greed, it reveals who they really are. A week before his so-called death, we had a fight. Not just an argument, a breaking point. He wanted control, total control. He wanted to cut me out of everything we built. And I refused. That was the last time I saw him. Or at least, that's what the world believed. Back in the present, as the handcuffs tightened around my wrists, I didn't look at the officer. I didn't look at the crowd. I looked at Emily. Her face was filled with shock, fear, disbelief. But beneath all that, there was something else. Something small. Something hidden. Guilt. I ignored it. Because love makes you blind in ways you don't even realize. The days that followed were chaos. News channels painted me as a monster. Social media turned me into a headline. My past was twisted, my silence used against me, my life reduced to a story people could judge without knowing the truth. And Emily? She stayed silent. She didn't defend me publicly. She didn't stand beside me the way I expected her to. At first, I told myself she was scared, that she needed time, that she would come back to me. But deep down, something was breaking. When Sarah Mitchell walked into that interrogation room, I knew things were about to change. She wasn't just a lawyer. She was someone who knew the truth, someone who had carried the same secret I had for 12 years. The moment she said she was there that night, I felt the past crash into the present like a wave I could no longer escape. That night wasn't what people thought. Michael didn't die. He planned everything. But he wasn't alone. As the trial began, every second felt heavier than the last. The courtroom wasn't just a place of judgment, it was a battlefield of truth and lies. When Michael walked in alive, the world didn't just react, it exploded. But for me, it was confirmation. The past had finally caught up. And then came the moment that changed everything, when he pointed at Emily. I didn't believe it. I couldn't. Out of everything I had prepared myself for, this was the one truth I refused to accept. The woman I loved, the woman I built my life with, the woman I was ready to choose all over again just hours before. No, it wasn't possible. But truth doesn't care about what you can accept. The evidence was undeniable. The bank transfers, the messages, the hidden conversations. Every piece of proof felt like a knife, cutting deeper with every second. Emily's breakdown wasn't just emotional, it was revealing. Her words didn't come out clearly at first, but when they did, they destroyed everything. I thought you would leave me. That was her reason. Not anger, not revenge, fear. A fear so deep that it turned love into control, trust into manipulation, and a relationship into a silent war I didn't even know I was fighting. She admitted she helped plan it, not to kill me, but to trap me, to make sure I could never walk away. But plans like that, they don't stay small. They grow, they twist, they destroy everything in their path, including us. When the judge declared me innocent, the room reacted with relief, shock, noise, but I felt nothing. Because innocence, in the eyes of the law, doesn't heal what's broken inside you. As I walked out, the sunlight hit my face, but it didn't feel warm. It felt empty. Behind me, Emily was crying, calling my name, begging for one more chance. Her voice was the same voice I once found comfort in, but now it felt distant. I stopped for a moment, not to go back, but to say goodbye. Without turning around, I spoke quietly. I would have never left you. Silence followed. Then I walked away. Because some stories don't end with justice. They end with acceptance. And sometimes the hardest truth to accept is this. The person you were ready to fight the world for was the one you needed to walk away from.